Living now. Look I'm living now.
Oh,
Tripping now. Yeah.
hello. Welcome to the Lauren Rachael Talk Show. I'm with special guest Guillermo Tovar tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Guillermo. Guillermo is a man of many names. Yes,
Yeah.
he's got a tough name. It's hard to have a tough name. They've introduced you as all kinds of things for your show.
I've been known as Guatemala, Guacamole, Guantanamo,
Oh,
and of course, my favorite, Gargamel.
that is my favorite.
Why
I'm a
would my
fan.
parents name me after a child molesting monk
I don't.
is beyond me. But still, they think, oh yeah, Gargamel, that sounds Mexican.
Yes, yes. That's. We need to give you a nickname. Do you have a nickname?
Bruce Wayne.
That is easier. That is easier. So Guillermo's with us tonight. He is actually a professional comedian. I've done some shows with him, and he's also a job recruiter. So he's going to help all of you out that are tuning in tonight because we could all use a little bit of help with that sometimes, huh?
Correct. Yes, I've run into so many people that I'm just like, what?
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, actually. I will say this. I've actually really enjoyed working with you, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show tonight because, you know, you've hosted some shows with me that I was on, and you are the only comedian I've ever worked with that actually was like relaxing, and you were not all about yourself. You were all about the people you were working with that were in the show, and I feel like it's just amazing because not many people do that. They're all about themselves, and you're really very selfless, and you really help things to be a better show, and you help everyone out, and I really appreciate that about you.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a fan of comedy.
Yeah.
So if they're coming to see somebody, they're not coming to see the host. You know, it's one of those situations where my job is to be the MC, is to be the guy that brings them on. You know, it's the guy that brings on the next act.
Right.
They're, if anything, if they remember me as the guy who introduced the person, or maybe cut a joke in between, that's great. But the real acts are the people that go on and do the segments. And for me to try to do my 5-minute set between people is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you're very funny though. I do enjoy watching you perform, and that's one really nice thing about you. And you're one of the few people that I had done this festival, and it was just a lot of pressure. It was the first time I was traveling out of state to do a show, and you're the one I reached out to, and you keep me calm. Like you're like, you know, you're like my own like Yoda, you know. So I appreciate that about you.
Yoda's not Mexican, by the way.
No, that would be a great nickname. Can we do that?
No.
You mentioned, and I didn't know this about you, you used to work on the radio. Tell us about that.
Correct. My first job straight out of college, I used to work for Extra Sports 1150 back in Los Angeles, the precursor to ESPN radio. And I was the intern and / producer for a show called The Sports Gods. Wow. Joey Hyman, Dave Smith, who are still massive, were a massive influence for me. They were the people that actually got me to open up a lot. And this was 97. So this 98, 97, 98. So 25 years ago it's been. And it was one of the best times. You know, it was awesome. I've interviewed, I mean, I got a chance to interview and get booked, you know, Evander Holyfield after he got his ear cut off.
Oh, wow.
Kobe Bryant, Shaq, when they were first starting out, you know, Mike Piazza, all these guys were awesome. It was a great time. It was a great time, and it was just a great situation where, as an intern, though, we had our show was very Howard Stern-like.
Oh,
so
okay.
that it is Howard Stern peak, but we were sports related.
Okay. So dirty sports.
Oh my God.
Any mud wrestling?
Oh my God, I can't really. We'd be so canceled if I got into full stories of that. But one story I can tell you is I booked. If people that are familiar with sports, Vladimir Guerrero, who's one of the greatest players of all time. I booked him when he was with, this is how old I am, Montreal Expos, the team's not around anymore.
And what sport? I'm not a sports.
Baseball.
Okay. I thought we were going with the fights on.
And I used to cold call people at their hotels. So I called Vladimir, talked to him in Spanish. Hey, do you want to be a guest? He's like, sure, no problem. I run into him, my first big booking. They're like, that's awesome. We get on the air. He knows not a single word of English.
Perfect.
And I'm like, and you hear the sports guys go, oh God. And they're about to let him go, and they start talking to him in Spanish. The cool thing is, at that time, the FCC really didn't know a lot of Spanish languages, but we were in LA, so a lot of people did. So they used a lot of bad slang or bad calling certain body parts by slang.
Oh, wow.
And we got away with it
Wow.
to the point where that audio actually got played at the Howard Stern show itself, saying, there's some knucklehead that were interviewing Vladimir Guerrero, listen to this. And they played that part.
That's
so
funny.
I thought I was fired. I literally thought, I'm fired. I'm never doing it anymore. I knew. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. I'm going to go back to being an intern, bringing them Taco Bell for no reason. And it hit. And
wow.
that's the funny thing is they gave me a nickname, which in addition to the nicknames that I have, because I was an intern and they couldn't pronounce my name, they would call me Guillermo the Gay Intern.
Okay. Well, had nothing to do with your clothes and
no, nothing. It's just they couldn't.
You got great hair.
Awesome hair, even back then. But the problem was that one of the hosts would always call me Guillermo. So he couldn't say Guillermo, he said Guillermo. Guillermo. So then they had a drop, and I said, guys, I'm not gay, I'm not. So they recorded it and they put a drop going, Guillermo the Gay Intern. They will say, I'm not gay, I'm not.
90s humor right there. It's 90s humor.
I miss it. It was one of the best times of my life.
This is very much a Gen X radio show. I have to tell you, we don't worry about the feelings so much on this show. Sorry.
We were the generation that
yes.
When we got spanked with belts. We drank from the water hose.
I had 4 jobs in high school.
Wow.
And now these oh my God, you know how many girls it took to make this drink tonight? Like 7. And it was still wrong.
Oh my God.
It's like, all right.
No, it wouldn't last. On our day, no.
Oh,
no, not at all.
Yeah, I went to Chipotle the other day, and I don't know if I told you this, but I asked for a tray. Like, this was like a big deal to them. I heard an audible sigh. He was like, they're all dirty right now. And I'm like, all right, I can wait. I was going to go outside with the stuff, so I was like, I can wait a minute. And he just like rolled his eyes. And I think that made a sound as well because it was so dramatic. And he comes back with a tray and like slams it on the counter in front of me. And I was like, now, was that so hard? I used to sell hot dogs at Legoland. Relax. I win. No matter where you work, I feel like I win because that was so horrible.
Well, working at Legoland itself, that's a win because that was one of the...
I know. Well, you lived up where you hit the cool parks. Like, you were closer to Six Flags and Disney and Universal, right?
Knott's Berry Farm still has the best fried chicken that I've ever had in my life. They have boysenberry drinks, and they have a churro.
Oh, I like how you said that. Say it again.
Churro. With boysenberry and an ice cream, and it's second to none. It is awesome there. I still love that place.
They're really fun. Their rides were actually very scary. I remember going there a couple years ago, and it was actually scarier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was more like going to be kid stuff, but no, they had some scary
they're legit.
stuff.
And it's easily 50 to 75% cheaper than Disneyland.
Yes.
It's not as crowded.
Yeah.
And you're not going as far as Magic Mountain is way too far.
Oh, yes. And it's so hot.
It's so hot up there.
It's so hot. I just remember boiling there.
But when the temperature drops because it's up there, it drops. You're dropping 30, 40 degrees.
You go from tank tops to parkas.
Oh my God.
There's no in between.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. They still have some of the same rides. They still have the Goliath. The one that's what's the wooden one? That's Colossus.
Colossus was a wooden. They did something where they were going backwards.
Oh.
And during their Halloween session, it's at night.
Oh, that's cool.
So you don't even see what you're doing.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
I remember it's been so long since I was at Six Flags. I remember going there I was in overalls, okay? And I remember I had change in my pocket and we dropped so fast it was like floating around my head. It was a big drop. We don't have anything like that out here, do we?
Not that I know of.
It's too hot.
Not that I know of.
Oh, we've got the water parks.
There's water here?
Yeah, but they pay a lot for it. You pay as much as you do for Disneyland.
Where's it imported from?
It's recycled. It's definitely recycled. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't trust it. And I just feel like that ship has sailed for me. I'm like, do I want to go to, it's not fun for me to get in shape to go enjoy an activity personally. I just want to just do my thing, like in Vegas,
Yeah, though I don't swim. I swam once, and once I hit U.S. soil from Mexico, I never swam again.
Welcome. It's so great having you here.
Gracias. Mira, gracias a Power 98.9, gracias por la gente. Dámelo, los Tucanes de Tijuana. Ándale, Karma.
It sounded very fast.
Didn't it?
I told him not to start the show that way because I knew that a lot of people were rechanging the channel thinking they hit the wrong station.
Plus, I have an advantage. I won't show up that fast.
Oh my gosh, you're fun. Oh, something I was going to ask you.
Sure.
I didn't get a chance to ask this on the air. So when I first met you, I did not notice at all that you have braces. But apparently you've had them for a while.
For 2 years now.
That's how observant I am.
For 2 years now. No, it's funny because I'm like, my girlfriend Jennifer has never seen me without them.
Oh, they're gonna glow.
Yeah, they're gonna glow. And it's funny because when I first got them, I was living with my best friend Ray, who's also a great stand-up comedian,
Yes.
and his family. And I came home and the kids are just like, my nieces and nephews. They're looking at me like, what is that? And I'm like, I know you like metal, but that brings a whole new definition of metalhead.
So they make me smart.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing as the glasses.
Oh, I was picking up streaming cable for a little while.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
I might need your help with that later.
That'll work.
Oh, what were you? You said something about you tried to do something else before the braces and didn't work. What was
Oh
that?
my God, Invisalign. That's the big, Invisalign is the biggest waste of time. They're a scam. Don't ever. My sister's a dental hygienist. She yelled at me. I went to my orthodontist and I told him about that. He said,